There's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to be had. And listen, I love Judge, and we all know the impact he's had both with the team and in the offseason. They are listening to him as captain of the Yankees, and he is more in tune to what the Yankees are doing than you could argue any player in baseball with their team. He said this before. Last year, we heard the same thing. We're not done. They opened up last offseason. Opened it up. This year, they opened up screaming and yelling at everybody. Last year, he opened it up left field. Left field, you need a left fielder.
Yep.
They did nothing the entire offseason. Didn't get a left fielder.
A lot of talk about Reynolds last year. Didn't happen. Yeah. Remember a lot of talk about Brian Reynolds?
We'll get him at the trade deadline, and then he signs an extension before the season starts. Oh, and we'll get Bellinger at the trade deadline. Then they get hot and the Cubs take him off the market. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
And they've talked this before. They told Judge when they signed him, we have more coming. They go get Rodon. That's the big move. We still have more coming. The owner, Hal Steinbrenner, after that signing, more stuff is coming. It never comes to fruition. They made their big move. They offered, with Soto, obviously. They offer Snell a contract. He says no. They pivot to Stroman. Starting rotation is the only thing they have left, and there is by no stretch of the imagination they are getting Snell. You can forget it. Every day I wake up in the middle of the afternoon. Every day I wake up to another story about, hey, Snell's willing to do this. Snell really wants to be a Yankee.
You know why?
The Yankees are still more on it. The pencils aren't down. They're done. But
do you know why those stories keep hitting you at 1:30 in the afternoon when you wake up?
Why does John Heyman keep hitting me? Because his relationship with Scott Boras? That's why.
No, because Blake Snell hasn't signed anywhere yet.
I know.
That's why.
It's bizarre.
And nobody else has an offer on the table. Now, I'll give you this there, Chris.
Yes.
It's complicated in the sense that it's 110%.
Yes.
I know, because you're now at the third level of the luxury
The best one was Bob Nightingale saying he's open to a short-term deal.
Bob Nightingale.
They're going to give him $40 million and then pay $44 million to the rest of baseball to come beat them. They are not paying $80 million for Blake Snell to pitch for them.
Well, then they're not serious about winning a World Series.
That's where I disagree.
But how could you disagree? If you're now, again, we'll find out. You might be right. I'll grant you that. I do think something else is coming. We'll find out. But if nothing else comes, and I know you're a Cashman apologist, and we'll get to that.
I've been
please, the guy's never done
anything
wrong. Brian, he's basically been off his game for a decade. You want to bronze him.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
We'll get to that.
No, we will get to that. But I think that the Yankees now are really good. I can't say they're really in line to win a World Series until they spruce up the rotation. So if they don't do anything like you said they're not going to, how can you tell me they can win the World Series? It's a contradiction.
No, it's not, because they're good enough to win the World Series.
With this staff?
Absolutely, they're good enough to win the World Series. There'll be they have till the trade deadline. I'm not saying they're completely done forever. They're done this offseason. They're still need to attack the trade deadline. They're done this offseason. The season will start.
Don't hedge on that.
I'm not hedging.
We can hedge in the overnight, C-Mac. We can't be hedging at 10:03 in the morning.
I don't hedge. I have no idea what hedging is. No. They are done. They are done in this offseason. Pencils are down until July 31st, or whenever the new deadline is in August 3rd or whatever.
Something like that.
So they might attack the trade deadline to go get a starting pitcher, but there is no way they are hitting it in free agency, and I don't see any viable options right now because they're being held up for their best prospects. They are done in this offseason. And why they're good enough? Because, let's be honest right now, last year's Yankee team, the miserable 82-win Yankees, if they were in the World Series against the Arizona Diamondbacks, who's favored in the series? The New York Yankees.
Well, because they want to. Well, that doesn't mean that it's right. They want to pull in the dopey bettors who have no idea who gravitate to the big brand.
The middle of this
lineup were better.
What they've done offensively.
I love what they've done offensively.
That's it right there. We've been over the offense.
No, we've done it a lot.
They have but I'm saying over years they lose playoff series because the offense doesn't hit.
Yeah, that's
They've
true.
addressed the offense. It's far more balanced. We finally got some lefties in there. I always thought Cashman hated left-handed hitters. I guess he's okay with it.
But you love Cashman. That's ironic.
I'm saying it is
ironic.
ironic.
How can you love a GM who ignores a porch 314 feet away?
He doesn't ignore it. He just went out and got Verdugo and Soto.
No, I'm saying up until now. I mean, we bring in guys like Rodor and Gallo and Hicks as a switch hitter.
They went out and traded for Rizzo and Gallo.
I don't get, but they did that because he messed up. So I don't get your affection. I'm not even waiting for this anymore.
Yeah, okay.
What is with your fascination with Cashman?
30 years of winning, BT.
Okay.
As we watch 25 years of nothing basketball in this entire season. Forget the Knicks. They've been dormant for 20-plus years. The Mets, if they ever went to the playoffs back-to-back, we throw parties about it and talk about it being some of the best collection of Met talent in their history. Look around the city. 30 years. They just had the ugliest, most disgusting, worst season in my
30 years,
lifetime.
3 decades. Yeah, in your lifetime.
In Cashman's career, it was 2 games over 500.
Yep.
Now, I'm not trying to tell you that he's God and he's infallible, but what I'm saying is it is not as easy as people think. It is 30 years. You go ask other GMs around baseball and see if they think that Brian Cashman's been resting on his laurels and has done some job that every one of them can do over the last 30 years. As a Yankee fan, every single year, I know come August, September, October, I'm in it. I haven't won. He hasn't gone over. Of course, he made mistakes. I'm not an idiot. He's made mistakes. But over the course of his contract, if you are not happy with Brian Cashman as a Yankee fan, as a 40-year-old Yankee fan, I think you are nuts to not be happy with Brian Cashman. I think you're nuts.
877-337-6666. BT and Sound on the Fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guarantee lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Want to start cranking out some calls early. Another point to throw back at CMAC here. Before we do that, listen, me and Sal, we get after it. We're wacky. We have fun. I don't think we take ourselves too seriously.
They're kooky.
Yes, we are. But today's a very serious day for Sal and his family. So please, if you pray, whomever you pray to, throw them toward my guy Sal. His family can absolutely use it. I'll leave it at that, and I'll let him fill in the blanks. He's been fairly open about it, but it's a huge day for their family. I wanted to make sure we got that out. All right, now listen. Here's the only problem. Then we'll get these calls.
Sure.
I don't think the Yankees are done. You do. All right, fundamental disagreement. Eventually, it's going to get solved. Yep, that's all good. So, but the thing about Cashman, see, the mistake that you're making, Chris, and it's because of your youth. I appreciate the bubbly youth, the exuberance, man. But you are using it. You see, you're not rating Cashman on a conventional general manager scale. You are rating Cashman on the pathetic New York sports scene scale. Yeah. So because everybody else sucks, you've elevated them.
Is there another baseball team that's had as much success over the last 30 years?
I mean, in the last 30?
Yeah.
You want to measure? Well, yes.
Who?
The Red Sox. They've won multiple championships.
They've also finished in last place.
Wait. I'm going to give you the answer.
The Astros have been the best run franchise in the last 10 years. Yes.
The Red Sox, 2. The Dodgers, 3.
The Dodgers have
Giants,
won.
Hold on. The San Francisco Giants won 3 in 5 years.
So
that's 4 for you,
right,
Chris.
Well,
Would you like more?
If you're going to go just by championships, the Dodgers have won since 1988.
But you know what I'm saying.
Oh, but you know what I'm saying. They win every year. And then they choke in the playoffs, and nobody seems to care. We go on our business saying that they're the best team ever. Well, it's okay. The Atlanta Braves, best run baseball team in forever. They did pop up and win a championship without their best player.
Who's got the better? No, listen, I do think the Yankees will be very good this year, but let's call it for what it is. Which roster would you take the next 5 years? The Braves, it runs circles around the Yankees. Okay. Right or wrong?
We'll see.
I mean, what do you mean we'll see?
Yeah, I mean, they're younger and
Where's the Matt Olson on the
contracts.
Yankees? Where's the Austin Riley?
Where's the Matt Olson?
Oh, dude.
Matt Olson.
I can't work with this guy today.
Matt Olson's the 3rd or 4th best player on the Yankees. What are you talking about?
I can't work.
Let me look high and low for where's the Matt Olson. Let me see if I can find him. I don't know. He's hitting 3rd and 4th. Second and 3rd in the Yankee lineup. Wait.
So Keith is in because Sal's out tomorrow as well. Get Keith in today. I can't do this all day.
You want to throw layups at me? I'm going to take them. What do you want to say?
So who's playing first base this year?
Softballs at me.
Who's playing first base?
Anthony Rizzo.
Okay.
Olson's better than Rizzo.
Who's playing third base for the Yankees?
DJ LeMahieu.
Who'd you rather have, Austin Riley or DJ?
Austin.
Who's catching for the Yankees? And I do think Wells will hit, but okay. Who would you rather have? Their catcher or ours?
Yeah, no.
I mean, Chris, you gotta.
Murphy's a damn good catcher.
Right, so that's your way of conceding.
They have a very good roster, but what happens? They can't beat. They lose in the playoffs every year. I thought I was
a Yankee homer. This guy takes the cake.
Okay. Listen, you come at me. I'm just gonna tell you what's up.
That's what I expect you to do. Okay. That's why you're here today, brother.
Let's do it.
Let's get Dave in Lindenhurst. What's going on, Dave? VT and Sal with C-Mac here. What's up, Davey?
What's going on, guys? How are we doing?
What's up, Dave? How are you?
I think right now I'm saying that the Yankees are most likely done because of what C-Mac said. They're not going to go over the luxury tax. They're not going to pay $80 million for Blake Snell, a guy who's had 2 years, but after those 2 years of winning the Cy Young, the guy's been hit or miss, and that's putting it, nicely.
Yeah.
And for you to say that the Yankees, aren't a World Series contender.
No, I didn't say. I think that they're very good. I'm bullish on them, but there's another move to make.
But you said last week that they were the best team in the American League.
I believe that, but that's also before the Astros got Josh Hader.
But how could you be the best team in the American League and not be a World Series contender?
No. I'm saying that they are. I'm just saying that they're not first. And Dave, you've got to look. Thanks for the call. Chris, give me this at least.
That's fair.
Well, yeah, like if I don't get too wrapped up in all in 80.
Right.
I'm with you conceptually when there's a move at the deadline, all right? Although I do think they'll do something before the start of the season. We both agree that they'll make that power move if it's out there to be made to bolster a World Series run. So I'm not worried about that. But you think of these circumstances, Chris, I don't think I've ever seen this in my life. Between Soto, possible rental. I mean, signs he's a rental.
No doubt.
Verdugo, contract year.
Yep.
Gleyber Torres, contract year. Like, think about Garrett
Clay
Cole's
Holmes contract year. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch. This is the most. I completely agree with you on this. Going into a season for the New York Yankees, it is harder to see their future and their future plan heading into this offseason and the start of this year than ever before. I mean, you're right. You're talking about 5 out of the 9 guys on the lineup, plus different guys in the bullpen. It's more than just Clay Holmes. There's a bunch, but they're good at filling bullpen.
That's one thing Cashman's really good at.
Cashman's
brilliant at.
I'm glad you give me something.
Well, I mean, I don't
he's
think
brilliant at just finding arms that come out of nowhere. And so Ian Hamilton, he's one of the best relievers in baseball. He's good at finding guys like that. But it is absolute turmoil after this year.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys, I don't think they bring back. I think Gleyber's gone.
So do I.
I think there's a chance.
It took you a while to turn the corner on moving off from Gleyber, right?
When you first, I don't think it was at the Fan, when you first just were here at the state, when I started to see you more. When you came to the station. Okay. One of our first arguments was the Gleyber Torres thing.
When I pulled you in with Tiki?
Yeah.
I pulled you in. You were walking around, get ready to work with Greg and Evan and those guys.
And that's also when I came in, I told you the Blue Jays were fraud and the Yankees were going to win the division. I turned out to be 100% right.
Oh, is it receipt day here?
Well, you were just calling out. Yes, you said it was time to move on for Gleyber, and I completely disagreed with you. And I still think he had no value at that point. Mm-hmm. Now he had some value. I was open to trade him once he had the good year, and you get something back. When he's coming off the worst year of his career, it's like, well, why would I move him now?
I hear you on that.
There's no doubt. I view him differently. As good as he is, and as much as a good offensive player, and certainly at the second base position, he's one of the top offensive second basemen in baseball. There's something about him.
Okay.
He's not a winning player.
All right, so
I hate to say that because I like him.
He's not.
I think he's done. But they are up, and that's they are up for grabs. They are, and that's why we wanted to go all in on this year. I'm 100% with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 100% with you, and that's why I cried and bitched, and people were getting on me. The Yamamoto thing pissed me off.
In terms of what
not
they
signing
offered?
him, yes. I thought they should have went above and beyond to get Yamamoto because he was the one guy they were willing to do it for.
Yeah.
They loved him. They've loved him for forever. Cashman traveled all the way to Japan.
So
they had scouts there for years. Yeah, sit in front of him. Apparently presented him with the ticket stub of the game he was at for that. Like, they loved him, and they were willing to go and pay him over the luxury tax and spend all that money for him. Blake Snell, despite the Cy Youngs, not willing to do it.
Yeah.
Certain guys
not willing to do it yet.
Well, not willing to.
That's where we disagree a little bit.
They're done. They're not going to do it.
Keith is in Howell, BT and Sal, C-Mac sitting in. What's going on, Keith? How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well this morning and feeling good. I got to say, if I could have 30 seconds, what I would like to just bring into everybody's vision was that in July 2010, when George M. Steinbrenner died, before he died, it was luxury tax be damned. And since he died, it is, damn, that luxury tax. And that's what it's turned into. You've got two schools of thought. You've got the old guys like me that have been spoiled with World Series titles. And why aren't we just signing every best player in the league? But now in today's contemporary thinking, you've got guys that are thinking, all right, we've got to do what we got to do with the talent we have, with the money that we have. It's not something that old-time Yankee fans are used to. I don't think they're done yet, but there's no way that they're gonna break the bank. I think Hal and Brian they want the guys they have to produce because according to Cashman, they're really good. But I think as far as them being done, it's not going to be a George M. Steinbrenner not done. It's going to be a Brian Cashman, Hal Steinbrenner when, we're not done. And they're going to come as close to that tax threshold as not. The spoilage years are over, and I think a lot of older Yankee fans have to appreciate that.
I do appreciate. Thanks for the call there, Keith. See, Chris, here's the one thing though.
I have a major problem with everything just said.
Well, Well, go ahead. Go for it.
I hate the Steinbrenner talk. I hate it. First of all, the luxury tax be damned. The luxury tax is nowhere near what it is now.
It's not as punitive.
Nowhere near as punitive.
I mean, it wasn't as punitive
back then. And I'm telling you right now, what you want to tell me Brian Cashman would have been gone 10 years ago? Better argument than the money argument for for Steinbrenner. You're telling me Steinbrenner would want to put money in the pocket of the Tampa Bay Rays, who he hated because of his connection to Tampa Bay. He'd be putting money into the Tampa Bay's pocket as they're winning divisions and going to World Series and beating the Yankees. He would never want to do that. And let's be fair, the dynasty was built when he was banished from the team.
Oh, we know
and then he comes back and he goes signs all the money, right? And he comes back, Giambi's got to play first base. We got to get A-Rod. We got to
get the share.
Was it successful? Like, how about the 80s, right? And we'll get into the 80s, apparently. I know I'm going to get sandbagged later. That's fine.
You never heard of a player who played from in the 80s. You're this big Yankee fan. That's ridiculous.
It happens. But you go back to the 80s, all the different money they would throw at the team. I mean, the idea that if Steinbrenner were here, you mentioned all the teams that have been run great, right? Do you think the Astros are the Astros because the owner thinks winning is air? Do you think that the Dodgers are the Dodgers because they desperately, it's the only thing that Dodger owner wakes up in the morning and as he's brushing his teeth, he's like, I got to win today. I got to win today. Like,
well, the Dodgers act that way. I think let me hold on, think about this. The Astros path was born out of irrelevance being just baseball irrelevant and a constant stream of top picks, which they hit. Right. So their path, and to their credit, they drafted, developed, then they, accessorized the rest of the roster and they become a great franchise, borderline dynasty. And then the Dodgers, I do think that they wake up and they are motivated too. They are the most Steinbrennian, if you will, of any team out there.
Yeah, but they care about money.
Oh, well, of course. But they also know if they win, they'll make more money.
There's a limit there. Yeah, I mean, listen, if Ohtani would consider the Yankees, I think they would have been in on it. They didn't want to consider it.
So do I.
So I just think there's a limit, of course. And the Yankees, there are other times, and I'm not saying there are other moves. There's a chance Harper's here if George Steinbrenner's running the team. I just hate that narrative, though. Like, I hate the narrative.
Well, we got to move on. It's time to move on. Rest in peace, George. And I think the thing that bothers me, Chris, and we'll get back to these calls coming up. BT and South, CMAC is in 877-337-6666, is that we overly romanticize what Steinbrenner did. I got news for you. When I'm in high school, I'm watching Stump Merrill's team. I'm watching Mike Blowers and Matt Noakes and Hensley Mullins. Like there was a large chunk of my life I didn't have love for George.
Of course.
So, but we kind of recreate this and again romanticize. And he did do a lot, but I think people tend to forget what he did wrong, which drove us nuts.
No, he was suspended from baseball.
Thank God.
And thank God.
I know.
And that's like the other thing. All old Yankee fans need to cope with it. How did that Yankee team, how did that Yankee dynasty form? Through the young talent drafting, developing. That's how they did it. And Brian Cashman, and again, to his credit, because he's the man. Brian Cashman, the main reason they are where they are is the baby bombers failed. He chased the baby bombers, and he's trying to do it now with Volpe. Because if you look
Dominguez,
we talk about
Spencer
the future
Jones.
of this team, Wells, Volpe, Dominguez, up the middle.
Yes,
they are going to be young.
Yes.
That's going to be the core of this team.
I understand that, but think about this: what Bob Watson, really more obviously Stick Michael, what Stick Michael was able to do, Brian Cashman has not been able to do.
That's fair.
Because it was the Pettits and the Moes and the Jeets and the
Certainly
Birdies.
Pitching.
That was
certainly pitching.
Of course, pitching as well. But Stick built that team. Cashman, every time he tries to build or replicate that core, he trips all over himself. He does. Hey, what are you shaking your head for? There's no evidence to the contrary.
No, certainly
Where's the young
starting
core
pitching
dynasty that Cashman's built?
Well,
there is none.
I know, but where's the young core dynasty in any team? I mean,
the Atlanta Braves. I know they've added to it some trades. I get that, but
you're ready to call them a young core dynasty?
I think the Atlanta Braves are going to absolutely dismantle people for the next 7-8 years. I wish the Yankees roster looked like that. All right. Well, when they play us, we know that they won't win. That we know. And we also know that they'll probably underachieve in terms of total championships like they always do.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that they're not built properly.
No,
you know what I mean?
I'm not saying they're
not
built properly. I'm just saying if it's about championships, would you be happy? Like, if the Braves are what they've been the last couple of years over the next 5 or 6, where they win the division every year and flame out in the postseason.
And meaning no World Series or one. No, you can't be happy
But, I mean, that's what the Yankees have been. The Yankees have kind of been the Braves without, ugly win. No, we don't like this. We don't like that. Ultimately, they win 90-plus games every single year and then fade out in the postseason.
All right. C-Mac's got good energy today, as we knew he would. There you go. Boy, Chris, good to have you. And for Sal, 877-337-6666. Got a little something on Alonso a little later.